I watched in horror as my father hurled my laptop into the flames, the screen cracking under the heat, while smoke billowed across our sunny, suburban backyard in Pittsburgh. "Get out of my house, you disgusting queer," he snarled, his voice raw with rage as my mother stood frozen on the porch, arms crossed like she was shielding herself from the sight of me. The bonfire roared higher, devouring boxes of my journals, old letters, college diplomas, even the childhood photos I'd kept hidden under my bed. Everything that proved I existed in this family, now reduced to ash. I stood there, 27 years old, suitcase at my feet, feeling the heat singe my cheeks while neighbors peeked from behind curtains. My name is Ethan Riley, and in that moment, I wasn't their son anymore. I was the secret they'd buried for years, the one they prayed away at church every Sunday. Marcus's text buzzed in my pocket. "I'm on my way. Hold on." My boyfriend of 3 years, the man I'd met in grad school and loved in stolen weekends, was racing from Philadelphia to save me from the only home I'd ever known. By the time his black SUV pulled up, the fire department had arrived, hoses drowning what was left. Dad refused to speak to the officers, just pointed at me like I was the criminal. Mom slipped inside without a goodbye. I climbed into the passenger seat, Marcus's hand finding mine instantly, warm and steady. "We're going home," he said softly, his dark eyes full of the quiet strength that had always anchored me. But as we drove away from the cul-de-sac, I realized I didn't know what home meant anymore. The first night in Marcus's downtown apartment, I couldn't sleep. I sat on the balcony overlooking the city lights, replaying every Sunday dinner where I'd smiled through their questions about girlfriends. I'd hidden so well, until last week when my sister Claire accidentally forwarded my private photos to the family group chat. One click, and my entire life exploded. Marcus wrapped a blanket around my shoulders, pulling me close. "You don't have to be strong right now," he whispered. "Just breathe." For the first time since the fire, I let myself cry, the kind of tears that come from years of swallowing who I really was. The next morning brought reality. My bank accounts were frozen, Dad's name still on the joint ones from college. Jobless, homeless in every sense that mattered, I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. Same blue eyes, same messy hair, but now carrying the weight of being disowned. Marcus left for his marketing job with a kiss and a promise we'd figure it out. I spent the day scrolling job listings for art teachers, my degree suddenly feeling worthless against the invisible label gay son kicked out. By afternoon, a knock at the door startled me. 2 uniformed officers stood there, badges glinting. "Ethan Riley? We're reopening an old case involving your family. Mind if we come in?" My stomach dropped. What case? Dad had always bragged about being clean, pillars of the community. But the lead detective, a no-nonsense woman named Ramirez, mentioned a name that froze my blood. Tyler Brooks. My high school boyfriend, the boy who'd vanished 10 years ago after our secret prom night kiss. The boy my father had sworn was just a phase. I invited them in, heart hammering. They asked about the bonfire, routine follow-up on the arson report, but then slid a faded photo across the table. Tyler's smiling face stared back. "New evidence surfaced in the fire," Ramirez said. "Charred documents from your family's safe. Looks like your dad paid Tyler's family to make him disappear. We're talking coercion, possible kidnapping charges. Your family's got nowhere left to hide." The room spun. Marcus came home to find me pacing, the officers long gone. I told him everything. The secret romance at 17, the threats, the way Tyler's family moved away overnight with a fat check. "They destroyed him because of me," I whispered. Marcus pulled me into his arms, his voice fierce. "No, Ethan, they destroyed themselves. And now the truth is burning brighter than that fire ever did." That night, as we lay tangled in sheets, not for passion but for comfort, I felt the first crack in my numbness. This wasn't just about being gay anymore. It was about survival, about the men who'd loved me despite everything. But the police file was just opening, and I knew my family's secrets were about to drag us all under. The city swallowed me whole those first weeks. Philadelphia's energy, honking taxis, crowded sidewalks, the constant hum of possibility, felt like oxygen after the suffocating quiet of the suburbs. Marcus's apartment became my refuge. Its exposed brick walls and floor-to-ceiling windows a far cry from the cookie-cutter house I'd fled. I landed a substitute teaching gig in inner-city high school, teaching art to kids who reminded me too much of my younger self, curious, guarded, hiding pieces of who they were. Every morning I'd wake to Marcus making coffee, his athletic frame moving with that effortless confidence. "You're rebuilding, Ethan," he'd say, kissing my forehead before heading to his office. But rebuilding meant facing the mirror every day and admitting the scars. Nights were harder. I'd dream of the bonfire, Dad's face twisted in hate, and wake gasping. Marcus never pushed, just held me until the shaking stopped. Our love had always been easy. Stolen weekends, late-night calls, but now it was tested in the daylight of real life. One Friday, I met Liam at the school staff lounge. Tall, openly gay, with a sharp wit and tattoos peeking from his sleeves, he taught music and spotted my quiet pain immediately. "New guy with the haunted eyes," he joked, sliding into the chair across from me. Over bad cafeteria coffee, I told him the basics. Family bonfire, disowned for being gay. He didn't flinch. "Welcome to the club. Nobody wants membership in," he said. "But we survive. Some of us even thrive." Liam became my anchor outside the apartment, dragging me to gay-friendly coffee shops and support groups where stories like mine echoed in every corner. Yet doubt crept in. At a school board meeting, a parent complained about alternative lifestyles influencing the curriculum after seeing my rainbow pin. I removed it the next day, shame burning hotter than any fire. Marcus noticed during dinner. "You don't have to hide here," he said gently. "Not with me. Not anymore." But I snapped back. "Easy for you to say. Your parents sent a care package when you came out." The argument escalated. First real fight since I'd moved in. I stormed out, walking the Schuylkill River Trail until my legs ached. When I returned, Marcus was waiting with takeout and an apology. "I forget sometimes how fresh your wounds are," he admitted. We talked until dawn, mapping out boundaries, dreams, the future we'd build brick by brick. Flashbacks hit hardest on weekends. I'd remember Tyler, his laugh, the way he'd sneak notes into my locker, our single kiss under the bleachers. He'd been my first everything, until Dad found out and made that call. Now the police wanted me to testify, to dig up memories I'd buried. Ramirez called twice that week. More charred papers from the bonfire matched bank records. My family's community fund had funneled money to silence Tyler's parents. Coercion turned to potential felony charges. Liam listened one evening over beers at a quiet bar. "You owe them nothing," he said, "but you owe yourself truth." His own story spilled out. A strange brother, similar rejection. For the first time, I saw my pain reflected without pity, just understanding between two men who'd walked the same road. Marcus joined us later, his hand on my knee under the table, a silent promise. By month's end, I'd enrolled in therapy, unpacking the guilt that whispered I deserved the flames. The school year wrapped with student art show, where my kids hung pride flags next to their paintings. I stood proud for the first time, Marcus beaming beside me. But the detective's latest message loomed. Grand jury hearing next month. My family had lawyered up, denying everything. The truth was circling, and I felt the pull between protecting the boy I'd been and destroying the parents who'd raised him. Marcus kissed me goodnight, whispering, "Whatever you choose, I'm here." In his arms, the future didn't feel impossible, just terrifyingly real. Summer heat wrapped Philadelphia like a blanket as the investigation deepened. I spent mornings at the school prepping for fall, afternoons job hunting for something permanent. Liam and I grabbed lunch at a food truck near Rittenhouse Square, swapping stories that made us both laugh through the pain. "Remember your first pride?" he asked. Mine had been with Marcus in New York, hidden from family cameras. His had been alone after his parents changed the locks. Our friendship grew solid, the kind built on shared scars and bad dad jokes. Marcus's company promoted him, celebration dinner at an Italian spot overlooking the river. Candlelight danced across his face as he toasted to new beginnings. But tension simmered. A misunderstanding flared when I saw a text from his coworker. Innocent lunch plans, but my trust issues roared to life. "After everything, you think I'd cheat?" he asked, hurt flashing in his eyes. I apologized, explaining how Dad's voice still echoed. "No one will ever love a fag like you." We made up slowly, bodies pressed close on the couch, words turning to soft touches that reminded me love wasn't a transaction. Claire called unexpectedly one humid evening. My sister, the only one who'd texted after the bonfire. "Mom's not eating," she whispered. "Dad's drinking again." The police came with warrants. I hung up shaking. Marcus listened without judgment, then suggested we visit his parents in the suburbs for the weekend. Their warm colonial house smelled of fresh bread. His mom hugged me like I'd always belonged. "We're your family now," she said simply. Dinner conversation flowed easy, stories of Marcus's awkward teen years, gentle teasing about our future. For hours, I forgot the file hanging over us. Back in the city, Ramirez summoned me downtown. The char documents weren't just payments. They included a signed statement from Tyler's mother, coerced under threat of exposing his sexuality to their church. "Your father framed it as saving the family name," she explained. New evidence from a reopened tip line suggested Tyler hadn't just left. He'd been driven to a bus station with cash and warnings. Possible false imprisonment. My stomach twisted. Testifying meant facing Dad in court, reliving every sermon, every slammed door. Liam offered his couch if things got too heavy at home. "Men like us stick together," he said. That night, over pizza, we watched old rom-coms, laughing until tears came for different reasons. Marcus joined, the three of us forming an unlikely crew. But doubt lingered. At work, another teacher made a snide comment about agenda in our class. I confronted it head-on, citing district policy, voice steadier than I felt. The principal backed me, but the incident left bruises. Marcus and I escaped to the Jersey Shore for a day, sand between our toes, waves crashing like the chaos inside me. We walked hand in hand, ignoring stares from older couples. "This is us," he said. "No more hiding." His words anchored me as the grand jury date approached. Family lawyers leaked stories to local papers, twisted tales painting me as the ungrateful son. Social media exploded with comments calling me everything Dad had. I deleted the apps, but the words stuck. Therapy unpacked layers. The boy who'd loved Tyler, the man who'd chosen Marcus, the son still craving approval. "Forgiveness isn't forgetting," my therapist said. Liam shared his breakthrough, letter to his parents, no response yet. "Growth isn't linear," he reminded me. One evening, Marcus surprised me with tickets to a gallery opening featuring queer artists. Standing before a painting of two men embracing amid flames, I felt seen. The piece mirrored my life too closely. As August faded, the case gained traction. A witness from Tyler's old neighborhood came forward. Dad's truck spotted that night. My family was fracturing publicly. Claire texted updates. Mom crying at church, Dad raging at lawyers. I felt no triumph, only hollow ache. Marcus held me through sleepless nights, his steady heartbeat the only constant. "You're not alone in this fight," he promised. And for the first time, I believed him. The emotional storm was building, but so was my resolve. September brought the grand jury summons, a sterile courtroom downtown where I sat across from strangers deciding my family's fate. Ramirez prepped me. "Just the truth, Ethan. Nothing more." I wore the suit Marcus picked, blue tie matching my eyes. Walking in, I spotted Dad in the hallway, older, grayer, eyes avoiding mine. Mom clutched her purse like armor. No words passed. Inside, my voice shook recounting Tyler's disappearance, the bonfire, the hidden life I'd led. Jurors listened, faces unreadable. Outside, Marcus waited with coffee. "You did it," he said, pulling me close right there on the steps. Reporters snapped photos. Headlines the next day screamed, "Local family linked to cold case disappearance." Social media split. Some called my family monsters, others blamed the gay agenda. Liam texted support emojis from school. My students drew cards, stick figures of me as a superhero. Their innocence grounded me. The case snowballed. Forensic teams sifted the old bonfire site, Unearthing more fragments. Emails Dad thought burned. Tyler's parents, now divorced and living states away, confirmed the payoff under duress. Charges loomed. Obstruction, witness tampering. Dad's business partners pulled out. The family farm listed for sale. Claire called, sobbing. "He won't talk to me either now. What do we do to deserve this?" I wanted to scream that they did it to themselves, but instead I listened. Betrayal cut both ways. Work offered escape. I landed the full-time art position. Lesson plans filled with themes of identity and resilience. Parents complained again, but the principal shut it down. Liam and I started a lunch club for queer students. Safe space, no judgment. One kid, 16 and terrified, reminded me of Tyler. "It gets better," I told him, meaning it. Marcus celebrated with a home-cooked meal, candles flickering. "Proud of the man you're becoming," he murmured. Our nights grew tender, conversations turning to rings and forever without pressure. Yet cracks formed. A misunderstanding with Liam. Innocent coffee that Marcus misread as emotional cheating. Sparked jealousy I'd never seen. "He's your person now?" Marcus asked one night, voice tight. I reassured him with kisses and honesty. Liam was brother. Marcus was home. We talked it through, emerging stronger. The sacrifice of vulnerability paid off. Court updates flooded in. Tyler's aunt testified. Dad had threatened exposure unless they left town. No body, no murder, but enough to ruin lives. My family hired a PR firm, spinning victim narratives. I refused interviews focusing on healing. Therapy sessions dug deeper. Anger at mom's silence, grief for the boy I'd lost. One breakthrough. Journaling again, words flowing freer than before the fire. Fall colors painted the city as the preliminary hearing date neared. Dad's lawyer offered a deal, testify lightly, charges dropped. I declined. Truth doesn't bargain, I told Marcus. He nodded, eyes shining with respect. Liam organized a small rally outside the courthouse. Friends, allies, rainbow flags waving. Standing there, surrounded by men and women who'd walked similar paths, I felt the community I'd craved. The night before the hearing, Marcus proposed quietly on our balcony. No grand gesture, just a simple band, and "Marry me, Ethan. Build the family we choose." Tears came easy. I said yes, the ring cool against my skin. In that moment, amid looming court battles and family wreckage, hope crystallized. The truth was freeing us both. The hearing room buzzed with tension as Dad took the stand. I sat in the gallery, Marcus's hand in mine, Claire beside me for the first time in months. Dad's voice cracked, recounting the family emergency that justified the payoff. We were protecting him, he claimed, eyes darting to me. The prosecutor dismantled it, bank records, timestamps, Tyler's tearful statement from years ago. Mom testified next, tears real but too late. I was scared, she whispered. Scared of what? The truth? The room felt heavy with years of silence. Cross-examination turned to me. I spoke clearly. The love I'd hidden, the fear Dad instilled, the bonfire that symbolized erasure. No dramatics, just facts. Jurors nodded. Outside, reporters swarmed. No comment. I repeated, Marcus shielding me. That evening, family texts exploded. Uncles, cousins demanding I drop it. Betrayal stung deepest from those who'd known and stayed quiet. Liam hosted a cookout at his place, our crew laughing through the stress. You faced the dragon, he toasted. Marcus and I left early, celebrating our engagement with quiet intimacy that healed more than words. But the case demanded more. A surprise witness, Tyler's old teacher, revealed Dad's church connections pressured the disappearance. New charges, conspiracy. Dad's empire crumbled publicly. Bankruptcy filings hit the news. Internal crisis peaked one rainy afternoon. Alone in the apartment, I stared at old photos salvaged from the fire's edge. Tyler's smile haunted me. Had I caused this? Therapy that week unpacked the guilt. You were a kid, my counselor reminded. Marcus returned to find me raw. We talked for hours, his patience a lifeline. Your growth inspires me every day, he said. The misunderstanding from weeks ago felt distant. Our bond deepened through sacrifice. Claire visited unannounced. Mom wants to apologize, she said. I met them at a neutral cafe. Mom's hands trembled. We were wrong. The church, your father. Dad refused to come. I listened but offered no absolution yet. Truth has consequences, I replied. Walking away, I felt lighter, no more chasing their approval. Work flourished. Students thrived in my class, one painting titled From Ashes winning district awards. Liam and I mentored together, our friendship a quiet revolution. Court dates multiplied, depositions, evidence reviews. Each step exposed more. Forged documents in the family safe, hidden to protect the business. The no-escape moment arrived when federal agents joined, linking it to tax fraud tied to the payoff. Marcus planned a small engagement party with his family and our chosen circle. Laughter filled the apartment, toasts to love conquering hate. But Dad's final call shattered the night. You'll regret this, he slurred. I hung up, blocking the number. The choice was clear, forward. Winter arrived with verdicts. Dad pleaded to lesser charges, obstruction and fraud, avoiding prison but facing probation and restitution. The family home sold at auction. Mom moved in with Claire. Local papers ran features, from bonfire to justice. I declined quotes, focusing on my life. Tyler's family received closure funds. He reached out via email from California, alive, thriving, married to a man. Thank you for the truth, he wrote. Tears fell as I read it to Marcus. Our wedding was simple, spring blossoms in a city park. Marcus in a crisp suit, me in navy, Liam as best man. Vows spoken under blooming trees, he promised partnership through every storm. You taught me strength, I said. His response, you showed me home. Guests, chosen family only, cheered as we kissed, the moment pure and earned. Months later, life settled into rhythm. I taught full-time, exhibited my own art inspired by the journey. Marcus expanded his firm. We bought a row house with a backyard for future barbecues. Claire reconciled slowly, bringing Mom to dinner once. Apologies came haltingly. I accepted what I could, boundaries firm. The internal peace I'd fought for bloomed. Liam's brother reconnected too. Small steps toward healing. Our trio of men, me, Marcus, Liam, became pillars for younger guys at school events. The story spread quietly, from Disowned to building empires of love. No more hiding, no more flames we didn't control. Looking back at the bonfire that started all, I see not destruction, but catalyst. The police file reopened wounds, but revealed strength. Family blood didn't define me. The men who stood by me did. True or false? Family loyalty should always outweigh personal truth, no matter the cost.